Many of our students don't really share or divulge what's happening in their lives because for so many years, there was a lot of shame around that. I mean, I come from an old school family in the sense that my mother always taught us of you don't bring your problems to people outside the family. And so when you're raised that way, you don't know how to go and just say, I need help, I need X, I need Y. And so it's really about being able to just ask questions a certain way, but knowing how to be culturally competent in doing that. And I'll give you an example, and I'm sure many in the audience can relate to this. When you're the auntie or the uncle or the brother who has gotten the college degree, you then de facto become the person that answers all college questions, right? You'll get the email, you get the call, and I have to say to my people, my nieces and nephews, please don't call me on the day of it's due, and don't call me 24 hours and ask me to create a miracle. And so I'm dealing with individuals who are well-intentioned, but I call them the app generation because they use and do everything on their phone. And so if you can't put it into 30-second sound bites, they can't always understand it. But they're also the generation where they won't divulge key pieces of information. And as we know, in families that have been historically economically deprived, you have people who are at different levels in the family. You have folks have some college degrees they're doing differently. You have some who have some high school, and I have sisters who didn't finish high school. So there's a variety. And as you know, you learn how to code switch and how to speak to who in certain ways because you don't want to make them feel less than in anything that they're doing. So I have nephews that I have to call and we'll have to ask them questions a certain way. Okay, so I'll say, Rick, did you get all the information for school? Uh-huh. Did you fill it out? Did you look at it? Did you look at the deadline? You laugh because you know you've done this before. Did you look at the deadlines? And you have to ask him that way, not, and I always say it's called tough love. And I say as an auntie, I will be in your business. I say, because I can't be standing somewhere and you're the kid that doesn't get your financial aid in because you didn't know who to ask and you thought I'd be too busy. So I have to come at you a different way. But I come at you with that level of love to say, I'm going to ask you some very poignant questions because I want to make sure you have what you need, you have it in time. And so we have students that what we call need basic needs, but they also need people who can talk to them in a manner that lets them know that they care. So I have to give you examples of what will happen if you don't give me the information before it happens. So I'll have to say, I'm going to ask you these questions because I need to know, because if you miss this deadline over here, you can't get your cow fresh over there, then you may not get all the funds you'll need in order to get you through the semester for the food. So I can't stop with, did you finish the application? I have to give them all of it so they can process and understand that piece. And then sometimes, depending on their level of trauma, will depend on how fast or how slow I can give them that information.